Scott Fitterer, the person who ostensibly calls the shot for the Panthers, although David Tepper is the guy who is making his wishes known, and if Fitterer wants to remain gainfully employed by David Tepper, he will listen to what the boss wants. Here's Fitterer from the Carolina Panthers pre-draft press conference on the possibility of taking a quarterback in round one.
Do you feel any of the guys in this draft are worthy of being selected with that number 6 pick?
Yeah, I do think there's a talent level on a couple of them this year that can help us, whether it's at 6, whether it's moving around. If we had to pick 1 to 6, I would feel comfortable with one of them, or actually a couple of them at 6. I think we've talked about since the season, we want to stabilize the quarterback position. We need consistent play out of that. And I sat down with Sam yesterday and just we talked about everything. Like, we need to help him out as well. We need to help him out with the offensive line. I think we've done a good job, keeping DJ here and with McCaffrey and surrounding him with the talent where he doesn't feel like he has to make every play. But we do have to protect him. But in our conversation, I said, hey, listen, we are going to add to this group. Through this weekend, there's a pretty good chance we could add to this group. And it's open competition. It's his spot right now. But whoever can take this spot and run with it, we're going to do that. And so he was good with that. We're on the same page. And we know we need to stabilize that position. But we're looking forward to adding to it.
That's what Fitterer had to say. I had a thought while we were watching that, and I've just sent an email to Brian McCarthy, the NFL spokesman, as to whether or not teams are actually required to conduct these pre-draft press conferences, because I wouldn't want to do one. Why do you want to be in a position where you're potentially tipping your hand about anything, unless it's being used deliberately for misinformation? That's the only thing I would do if I was involved with a team in any way, shape, or form, or in any shape, way, or form, in the management or running of a team. And the fans of all teams out there should be glad that I have no involvement in the operation of your team. I would use the pre-draft press conference, if it's mandatory, as a way to misdirect everyone else. Why wouldn't you? You don't want to come out there and tell the truth.
Right.
Hey, we're really looking at a quarterback at number 6. Hey, we're really looking at a quarterback at number 6. Unless Fitterer's thinking, man, maybe I can get somebody to jump us and take a quarterback so I don't have to, and I'll get Tepper off my ass about drafting a quarterback at number 6.
I agree with you. What I want to question you is, we just started a show yesterday talking about a coach that you said dodged this press conference and he didn't like it. So that's where I just go, well, so what do you – yes, I agree.
I didn't like it.
I know. Why, though? Because it was him, or because it just – what was the reason,
No.
He doesn't want to give you the gleam of that, the draft and all that to that point. I think that's real. I do. I understand what you're saying there. But he made his lieutenant, John Lynch, go out and face the heat, face the music. I got
without him there.
I got you.
It's a unique situation. I'd rather not do them at all. I don't complain that they do them. It gives us content. What else are we talking about? This is good. Thank you, Scott Fitterer, for talking yesterday. I'm just looking at it from the perspective of,
no question,
why do you want to be in a position where 2 days before the draft, you are saying things that can and will be used against you by the other teams that are drafting? We lose sight of this. There is a strong competitive element to this. You're sitting at 6. You know who you want. You know who you hope will land there. You have a preference surely by now. Everybody's got their draft board by now. They've got the number 1 guy they want, number 2, number 3. Why would they not? We're 2 days, 1 day away. You got me messed up now. We're 1 day away from the draft starting. They know who they want. Why do you want to say or do anything that would jeopardize your ability to get the guy you want? So I prefer to look at it as, these guys aren't stupid.
Right.
They're not naive.
Right.
They're not going to come out there and say what they really think. So let's assume that everything they say has at least a coating of BS to it, aimed at getting others off the scent. And then you start wondering, what kind of Jedi mind trick are they doing here?
Right.
Are they acting like it's not the truth and it really is the truth? Or like, you think it's the truth, but no, it's not, but maybe it is, but maybe... I'd just rather not do it. I'd rather spend my time 2 days before the draft focusing on watching some film, having another meeting, firming up my draft board just a little bit more, because I know what's coming Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, again, it is kind of weird. It's one of those things, I guess, teams feel like they got to do it to kind of just like appeal to the fan base, give them a little clue on, hey, this is what we're thinking as an organization going into the weekend. I'm guessing that's why, but you're right. I mean, you don't really want to go out there and say anything truthful. In fact, if you do go out there, you're going, okay, what lie or BS can I throw out there that people are going to like buy onto that is actually going to help me? You know, and that's where the quarterback talk there at the start with Scott Fitterer, who I got a lot of respect for. He's done a lot of good things there. But, yeah, I don't really buy it with the way he answered that question. Oh, yeah, there's a guy there, but there, somewhere, at 6 or somewhere else, or, we move around. Oh, actually, there's 2 guys there. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, you forgot there was the other guy there? That's to me, that's the posturing of that right there, to where, like, to your point, there's some BS. It's a quarterback. In case there's a guy or a team there that's kind of sitting in the weeds. Wait, we like that guy. Ooh, do we have to move up? I do. I think they're playing that game. I don't buy Carolina taking a quarterback at number 6 at all. I don't. I'm not. I got to see it to believe it. I will be shocked and fall off my chair if that happens tomorrow night during the draft.
And if they don't want a quarterback at 6, see, that's where the strategy comes into it. You use the press conference to your advantage to disseminate a false narrative. Hey, there's a couple quarterbacks we're comfortable with at number 6. The hope is somebody who wants one of those guys feels compelled to cut the line.
Right.
And if they cut the line and take a guy the Panthers don't want, that pushes a guy they do want farther down the board. You always want the people drafting in front of you to take the guys you don't want. That's the best outcome if you can get there, and that may be what he was trying to do yesterday, get somebody to jump them at number 6. And now, if the Panthers do make that pick at number 6, offensive line has become the favorite with 3 tackles.
Yeah.
Getting in front of Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis. Pickett's still the favorite to be the quarterback if they go quarterback. Malik Willis is typically favored at every other spot from 1 to 20. Well, not all the way down. Not every single spot, but wherever a quarterback's in play, Willis is the favorite except for in Carolina. But, yeah, I think as we get closer and closer, it sure feels like they're pivoting away from quarterback. That doesn't mean they're not going to get one at some point. It doesn't mean they're not going to trade for Baker Mayfield or Jimmy Garoppolo or somebody else. They seem intent. The fact that they have the conversation with Sam Darnold, I assume that part of it's true, that they've said to him, hey, remember what Ben McAdoo said last week? Yeah, no, don't get comfortable. We're going to have competition here. You're not going to be anointed. You're not going to be handed anything. And I think Sam Darnold's smart enough to know that.
Yeah, definitely. He is. Sam Darnold's not clueless. He knows the deal, what's going on. He understands what the year was last year. So certainly, and to your point, add into the quarterback room, whether that's the Baker Mayfield trade or, again, we're talking, there's a good chance that, you can make a move in the second round. I know Carolina's got no pick at the top of the second. The Jets got it. But if you had to get up there and want to do something there, third round, I think there's going to be available quarterbacks. Really, what I look at it, Mike, is I think whatever of the big 3 quarterbacks doesn't get drafted, that person will get drafted early in the second round, and I don't think we'll see a quarterback drafted for about a round and a half. That's really kind of how I see it playing out. But, yes, we're going to play the quarterback game. With Carolina, I understand them steering the message that way or making teams believe. You said all the right things, and we've seen years where – I would say quarterbacks that are less talented get drafted that high. But with Carolina's, their specific thing, and this is where I really I don't think they'll be a top 10 quarterback in my heart of hearts. I really don't. 1, through my own evaluation, and then 2, just from things I hear around the league. But I think the thing that, with Carolina, we've talked about it a lot. They're on the hot seat. They can't be breaking in a rookie quarterback. Even if it's Kenny Pickett, who's ready to go and like the most polished NFL-ready guy day one. I don't think he's a top 10 pick, nor do I think any team will take him in the top 10 because there's just not that type of talent there to justify it. It's all the other things. He's good. He can be a starter. But I don't think anybody's ever going to look at him and go, ooh, I think he could be a superstar or a star. So I don't think that happens. Willis, the other guy we talk about, maybe at 6, maybe at 8 to the Atlanta Falcons, he's got the talent. And it's like vice versa of Pickett. It's really raw. He doesn't play in the pocket real well. Like we've talked about, Mike, he doesn't go through the reads. Sometimes he doesn't see the first read. And that to me is like where I go, I love his eye and talent, but how to me, that's one where it's just, I don't know. I couldn't take Malik Willis in the top 10 either. I couldn't, because here's another thing that jumps out to me with Malik Willis. Hey, we're going to take this quarterback in the top 10. All right, cool. Now you're going to show the film to the owner and go, well, show me a game of him, what he's really all about. And that's the thing I always come to with Malik Willis. Is like there's really not a game you can turn on and go, here's what we got. You got plays, smattering of plays and moments, Mike, if that makes sense. I don't mean to talk so long. I just got on this quarterback tangent and trying to give a little knowledge out there. It's just interesting to me.
The other thing we need to keep in mind, too, that the teams that do it right, the teams that go about it the smartest possible way, make sure no one knows what they really think. And I think back to Patrick Mahomes in 2017, already 5 years ago, the Chiefs let no one know that they were on Patrick Mahomes as heavily as they were. The Saints let no one know that they were on Patrick Mahomes as heavily as they were, and it just kind of played out.
Sure.
And that's where the surprise comes from. And if there's somebody out there that has fallen head over heels for Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis, we find out on Thursday night.
Yeah.
And that'll be a hell of a litmus test as to what the league at large thinks. Because all it takes is one team with any of these guys to fall in love. But if nobody has, that's when the slide commences.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.